Hello, 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 and welcome to Aprok Hour on Viva Niger Radio. Or should I say, oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? Hello, hello, hello to all our American listeners. I'm sure none of you are going to tune on today because you're all busy watching the inaugurations. You're welcoming in your 45th president. We are totally going to talk about that today. There's so much going on in the world. A little bit of the craze that normally worries Nigerians is actually spreading all around the world. Gambia got a taste of it. America has been doing craze after craze after craze. But Nigeria, we excel in everything we do. So when it comes to Aran's foolishness and madness, Nigerians are always at the top of the list. So what can I say other than welcome to Apricot Hour once again on Viva Niger Radio? My name is Rachel. I will be your host for the day. I will be joined by a couple of my favorite co-hosts and panelists, and we're going to put the world to rights. There's so many topics to talk about today. So when I was going to start the show, I was thinking to myself, oh goodness, there's there's nothing to talk about. I could only think about about two or three things that had trended during the week. And then as soon as I started listing them, I'm thinking, well, we've got this show coming up. We need to think about exactly what it is that we're going to talk about. All of a sudden, it was like, oh, yes, and then this happened. Oh, yes, and then this happened. Oh, yes, and then this happened. So I think we're going to have an action-packed hour, and we need to get talking straight away. We need to talk about a whole bunch of things. Some of them are good, some are bad, and some are downright stupid. As I said, I don't ever do this show on my own. I am joined by my wonderful co-panelists, co-hosts, people that help me put the world to rights, and I've got two of them on board right now. Starting with the bad B of Bad Gang, she who puts a capital B in Bad Gang. Hi, Bimbo, how are you? TGIF?
Hello, hello everyone. How are you? Good evening. I hope you all had a great week. And there's an action-packed hour, as Rachel said, and I'm.
Yes, it's totally going to be action-packed. Oh, before we actually start talking about the things that's going on in the week, Bimbo and I shared a moment earlier on where we were actually talking about weight loss and new year, new you type of thing. We were talking about our figures and the stuff that we were trying to do. Bimbo, you said you're on a juice cleanse or something.
Yes, Jason Vale. Yeah, Jason Vale, the juice master. Yep. I've had moments where I've cheated, so I sometimes I cannot look at myself in the mirror because I cheated on it. But I'm trying to stay strong today. Today's been a good day, so yeah, there's that.
Cool. Whew. So when did you start? Did you literally start on the 1st?
No, oh God, no. I started on the 7th, I believe. Yes.
Okay. So and how long is the program?
It's meant to be 3. It's meant to be 3 weeks. So the first 2 weeks is kind of like you're doing the juices and the blends with the avocados and the bananas and the whatnot and everything else. And then the last week you're kind of just doing healthy recipes. Making pizza with couscous base or something weird like that. I don't know. I don't remember the recipes.
So when you're supposed to be on the juice thing, you don't eat. You actually don't eat food. You don't eat solid food. Is that correct?
No. You just have the 4. You just have 4 juices for the day. 4 different juices that you homemade ones. Spinach and kale and fennel. Apples and pineapples and bananas and avocados and.
But how do you feel though? How do you feel in yourself? I mean, other than the cheating, obviously that happens a couple of days of cheating. But are you feeling a difference in your energy levels? Are you feeling a little bit lighter?
I am. I mean, okay, maybe not quite as light on my feet as I'd love to be. But I am. I'm feeling a lot more alert. And feeling a bit more clearer-minded, and I'm getting there. It just takes perseverance. I want to duck into a restaurant and just have me some gorgeous.
Are you dreaming about steak? and stuff like that.
Steak and Korean street food and South American street food and stuff like that. You know what? Stop making me talk about it.
Oh my God. Okay. We'll move on to Aprok. Maybe that'll take your hour of food, at least for an hour. Next on the line, I have Rachel, the HR director of Bad Gang, also known as being responsible for hiring and firing. Hi, Rachel.
Hi. How are you
Guys,
doing?
could you all wish Rachel a happy anniversary? It was her wedding anniversary during the week. Rachel, how many years was it?
16 years.
Whoa.
16 years. She and our Dadiwa has been running Ting now for 16 years. That's just fantastic.
Twice longer than Obama. There you go.
Exactly. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. And finally on the line we have the Barry White of Bad Gang. Hi, Dolapo.
Hey, good evening, ladies.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. You missed when I came on air. We should have done a duet together. I actually sang "Oh Say Can You See." You and me would have been a chart topper. Well, maybe not with my voice, but if you had been part of it.
I'm not sure with you know who has POTUS now. I'm not sure I want to be singing that right now.
We have a new POTUS, Rachel, who lives in America. Rachel, you have a new president. Congratulations.
I was looking for Jonathan. I was trying to find him among all the people already. I couldn't find him.
Jonathan.
I thought they said he got an invitation. I couldn't find him.
Maybe he got a standing room. Those people standing at the back. So what is the mood like? What is the air like? I mean, I don't know. Are you at work right now, Rachel, or have you been home?
I'm not at work. I don't know. I was actually in a waiting room, and the mood is, to be candid, I'll say I've never seen Americans this petty. There's the petty feeling like, oh, from stripper to first lady, I don't want to watch that. For me, this is what I would say. This is a very epitome of what democracy is and what America is. Anybody can be anything. Peaceful transition is what it is. It may be a crappy 4 years. It may be a good 4 years, but we will be here in another 4 years again.
We're going to be all right. So I kind of agree with that. So I am completely unapologetic about my dislike for Donald Trump. I made it clear that I didn't like him. I made it clear that, I don't think he's the right choice. I wasn't sure Hillary was the right choice, but I really 100% felt she was the better of two evils. However, now that he has been voted, no long tin. I didn't agree with the people who went on demonstrations after he was voted in. I don't agree with people the same way as I had a problem with people saying things about Michelle Obama, and I used to be like, God damn it, that's the first lady, you will watch your mouth. I still feel the same way. There's no point talking about her as a stripper. She is first lady. She is the first lady of the United States. I just feel like, it's done. It's done. Anything you want to change now, change it in 4 years' time. 2021, you'll get another chance. You do what you want to do. If you vote him again, well, you wait another 4 years, noni, and see what happens there. But I did watch the inauguration live. Well, his speech that he gave. I saw is that the Capitol Hill where that big fountain is, and all the people are standing all around it. I saw that it was quite sparse. It wasn't as well attended as I would have thought it was. It certainly was no bearing on either Bush or Obama's two elections. And it just seems like, I don't know, like America is sitting with bated breath, or sitting to see what will happen next, or sitting to, I don't know.
That's one description. I was not surprised. Obama's election was very historic. He had 1.8 million, and it would have been very disappointing if he had any less than that. That was a very historic election. Trump is not, I mean, the only thing historic about him is he's got no political experience. He's another white man, he's another businessman, he's the same old, same old. So, I mean, what are people coming out here for again? We've had
but it's a new, but I would have thought the Republicans would have flooded the place.
You projected about 800.
No, you have to understand first of all that this is a man, like you said, has no political experience, has no military background. Those are two things that normally should help you up. His appeal is to that white average, I wouldn't even call him middle class, white man that stays in the middle of Idaho or Ohio or wherever. That's his appeal. Yeah, there's a poll that I read today where Obama has an approval rating of 60%, which is way higher than what even the incoming POTUS had. So, I mean, this is a sad day. Rachel, I just tagged you on a video on Facebook now where there's a protest going on in D.C.
What are they protesting, though? What are they protesting at this late stage? He is the president. What are they protesting? I am not Team Trump at all. Let me be clear. I am not, I mean, I could not like Trump less if it is not possible for me to like Trump any less than I do. But I'm saying, what are these protests for at this time?
Yeah, well, basically, what they're protesting is not that he shouldn't be sworn in. Remember that this group of people, especially starting with the Tea Party, heckled Obama from day one. All right? So it's about time for them. Yeah, it's the same thing. You protest when you have.
If you could finish, please, and then whoever that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you remember Obama giving that State of Union address where that guy stood up and said, "You lie." I mean, that is as disrespectful as it can get. This is what they gave Obama for 8 years. It's about time for them to taste their own medicine too.
Okay, so this demonstration is about heckling. We're just here to let him know that we're not here for you. We're not about you. We don't.
The video that I tagged you on is a little bit too far. I mean, I see them breaking into stores and breaking windows.
We had the guy who threw a shoe twice at Bush. This always happens to a president. So this is not about Obama being black. You had Bush. Bush experienced the same thing. People threw shoes at him.
No. Bush got a shoe thrown at him twice in Iraq or wherever, in another man's country, and those people threw shoes at him to say, "Get your people out of our country." Nobody threw shoes at Bush on American soil.
Nobody does that.
The dumb one. He got a C. He was not an A. So this is Bush. That's the president. This is what the media and everybody said about him. My point is, it is no big deal. These people went into politics. They should be used to it. It happens. We move on.
We'll see. I mean, I'm not arguing with you. I'm not saying it's a big deal or it's not a big deal at all, Rachel. I'm just trying to get a handle on what's going on out there. What are the people saying? How are the people feeling? What sort of mood?
Got the people who are utterly, he's not my president, and you've got the people who are like, I voted with the project. No way, in another 4 years we'll be here. But I think my personal opinion, Americans are really busy. I either don't understand their system, because the only way to make a change in America is to vote. And you can't be on the street yelling and screaming. That's not going to make a change. It's not going to stop him from being a president. And you can't impeach him based on what he's done before president. So why waste your breath?
Well, we'll see how it goes. I think it's definitely muted. I think the people who turned out are much less than it was during the Obama and indeed the Bush years. And Bush is someone that we just looked at it, that he just basically, in fact, there was cries that it was rigged when Bush entered, and yet the place was full. So I'm interested to see what will happen. I'm not really bothered about the heckling, because
Don't forget, you have to pay for this thing. My daughter won a sport in this thing, and I was supposed to pay $3,000. I'm a Nigerian babe. I saw $3,000, for this high school stuff. I'm like, my dear, we watched.
Yeah, but Rachel, people paid. People paid for Obama twice. People paid for Bush twice. So if it's about money, and if he is indeed, sorry. I'm sorry, there's so much. Are you driving or something?
No, I'm not actually.
Okay, say that again, please.
I said people still showed up. It's not the zero that people were projecting like nobody's going to get. It
No,
still had
no,
hundreds of thousands of
no.
people.
There were people
It
there.
wasn't
I saw the
5,000.
place. I saw the place. There were people there. Definitely, there were people there. I'm just saying it was a very, very somber occasion because I watched the Bush ones as well. I mean, that was at an age where I was old enough to even understand what I was watching. I don't think I've seen any of the other ones before that. I watched the Bush ones. I watched because I remember even the Obama ones. I wasn't even concerned on
It was
the.
decent now considering how this election was, that this was a fairly decent turnout. It could have been worse. I think this was a decent turnout,
Well,
considering the backlash and the,
I think
60
he had
people.
less of a backlash than a black president coming into a position of power. So I think actually this should have been the Republican time to say we won, suck it, and fill the place out and crowd the place out and completely overwhelm the place with yes, down to Democrats, up Republicans. And these are supposed to be his cronies, people who have money too, people who. So I don't understand where everyone was. And by everyone, I don't mean the place was empty. I mean
Yeah, but don't forget half of the Republican Party were not on his side too.
exactly. And
He
that's what I'm
had a
saying, that
divided
even his
party.
people didn't come out for him. So I'm interested. And even during the speech that he gave, he's still tacit one. He is still, how do you say that in English? He still stepped to his own people. He stepped to Senate. He stepped to what do you call the people in the halls of in the corridors of power. He stepped to everybody. He stepped to international relations, everything. So he continues to alienate people. I just wonder, and I'm talking other Americans.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not even going to go into international now. Even other
I mean
Americans.
yeah, that is the worst inaugural speech I've ever heard in my life. I'm telling you, you just basically said, you know what, we're gonna fight everybody in the world,
Yeah,
America first. If you don't bow to us, you're in trouble. Oh,
yeah,
really?
yeah.
It's gonna be an interesting 4 years.
Oh dear. Well, for what it's worth, like it, love it, hate it, don't care, indifferent, or however way you feel, we don't enter them until 2021 before we judge this
Abby,
matter again. So,
and
um,
the
Um,
and the tweeting will
um,
continue. No longer at Donald J. Trump, but at POTUS.
at POTUS.
No,
Just
But,
keep
he said
working.
he's not taking photos. He wants to keep at real Donald Trump.
thing that he has
And he
already
has to take
taken.
Yeah,
POTUS.
he
He
doesn't
has
want to
taken
do it.
it. Yeah, no, 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 no,
He
no,
has
no.
taken over POTUS. He
He's
has no
taken
choice.
it. I've seen
He
it,
has
or I went
access
and I checked
to
it.
it. He
I'm
has
sorry?
access to it. He has access to it, but he's going to keep tweeting from at real Donald Trump also.
We'll see what happens because he's
Obama,
already started
yeah.
tweeting at
Once he
POTUS.
votes, once he
Instantly,
I'm
Is
as
that
soon
here.
is
as
that
as
a
soon as
way?
as soon as the inauguration speech ended, Obama's handle changed to at POTUS 44,
absolutely, yes.
and he became
That's,
at POTUS, and he tweeted from it. So if he will keep
yes,
both, it
but he also
remains to be
said, I want
seen.
at real Donald Trump.
Maybe that way he could always deny whatever he tweets now and say, "Oh no, that was me." But if he
And
was me, it would have
I
been
don't
that
even
real.
think I don't even think he will be allowed to do that. But we'll wait and see
Yes,
what
that was
happens.
the question. That was the question. Like, will he be allowed? Because he said, I want to keep at real Donald Trump. Because if I want to say something crazy, I want to say,
But you are one
I'm
and
not
the
going to
same.
go.
Donald Trump is the president. You can't say, "Oh, president didn't say that. Donald Trump said it." That doesn't make any kind of sense.
Hey,
You
you don't know if that's how it's going to be. He might have multiple personalities, so
no. What I'm
we'll
saying
see how
is,
it goes.
in the Chris, but not be said they go allow him
Of
Chris.
course,
That's the difference.
of
So
course.
I
I
understand his
put I
logic. So I have
But
a
that
Facebook
he wants
page.
to do doesn't mean he gets to do it.
Exactly. I have a Facebook
I
page,
personally
Rachel Onomusi, and then I have a Viva Niger Radio. And there is things if I feel some type of way so strongly about something, I'll take it to my personal page and I'll say it there. But I am not Viva, and Viva is not me. Viva is a business. So I can
Rachel,
say something.
Rachel,
Okay.
Rachel,
Yeah.
Rachel
Yes.
Anonymous. You're a normal human being.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But what he is saying is
Eh,
he is saying
Let's
I
start off.
Anyway, let's see if he will keep the real Donald Trump and if he will continue to tweet his outrage. I really do believe that now that he has won the elections, he needs to let Twitter go. He needs to breathe. He needs to face the business of running the country. He can't be getting into
They
battles
need
with
to put
individuals. I
they need
think
to put
he,
his thumbs in a vice. You know those vices that they
yes,
had,
yeah,
the
yeah.
medieval torture vices.
They
I
should
think he
give
needs to
him
put
a
his
Nokia
thumbs so he doesn't
3310.
switch.
That will be all he has access to. Just a 3310, and then that's it. Let your wife be able to phone you, and you be able to phone your wife. Those are the only things you should be allowed to do. So let's move on, because we're 20 minutes in and we've been on Donald Trump. Whatever it is, welcome to the White House. Like I said, you know, like him, don't like him, however you might feel, he's here now. And let's just hope whatever happens works for the best, not just of America, because the reason why we talk about him every so often, or because the actions of America affects the world, whether we like it or not. So it does
Mhm.
affect all of us. We can't keep quiet about it. So let's just wish him all the best and just hope that he doesn't just don't break anything, yeah, just leave. Don't break anything, leave it the way it is,
Yeah,
and
right.
let's hope for a good 4 years.
So
Let
what
us move on from one
expectation are
leader
we
to
getting?
another leader. We Jammeh. Oh, you wanna Jammeh with you? Yaya Jammeh of Gambia has been a goat all week, all week. He has been a goat. So here's the thing. Um, they had a presidential elections, and before the presidential elections came up, he said and was so. I'm sorry, Bimbo. I think you are the one. Are you traveling at the moment?
I am traveling, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna mute you just for a few minutes, and then I'm gonna bring you back in. Um, he said he was so confident he was going to win. He took off all social media from the entire country. Social media is completely blocked because he didn't want people spreading propaganda or spreading their own side campaigns. He knew that a lot of the more literate and more of the more enlightened, exposed Gambians liked his opponent, who was Adama Barrow. So he completely removed social media, and he says, whatever the outcome of this um, election, everybody must stand by it. He was this certain. He said, Gambia has some of the fairest electoral processes in the world because of the way their election, so they don't do tick in the box or whatever the case may be, because they have a high illiteracy um, a vast percentage of the population is illiterate. So they have, at every polling booth, everybody gets a marble and they get two big drums. Then you go up, there's a picture of your one guy on one drum, there's a picture of another guy on another drum. You put your marble in the drum with the face of the guy that you want. At the end of the day, all the marbles get counted, right? Supposedly foolproof, fail-proof, nothing can go wrong. He said he doesn't want any demonstrations, he doesn't want any problems, he doesn't want any. As soon as the results are read, that's that. Let the person go back and sit down. The winner is the winner, and let that be the end, because he was so certain he would win. I believe up until this point, he had been president for 22 years. He became president by a military coup. He actually did a coup when he was 20 something and has been president ever since. Shock horror, his opponent won. His opponent won, and instantly he conceded defeat. He was like, yep, no, that's fine. I said whoever won should be the thing, and that should be the thing, and that should be the end of it. So I'm sticking to my words, and I'm gonna step down. It can't think. He said, no, I've changed my mind. I'm not stepping down at all. I'm just gonna stay here. And then people started turning up missing. So Barrow took himself to the neighboring Senegal because, obviously he wanted to stay alive. The person that even counted, so their own equivalent of Jagger, he too, he went to sit in another country. He's under hiding at the moment. nobody could. He said no, only Allah can take him off this throne. Nobody can take him off. He's not stepping down for nothing, for nobody. ECOWAS wasn't having it. So this is what I understand. So I was speaking to a friend of mine about this a couple of days ago, and they said the situation is basically that we now had Jonathan. So Jonathan conceded defeat. Ghanaian president conceded defeat, and his successor took over. Blah 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 blah. So West Africa is trying to come up with, or rather, Africa is trying to come up with a whole. This is a stable continent. We do democratic elections, and when someone wins, we hand over to the next person. We stand by our word, and we do. So ECOWAS was not about to let Jammeh spoil all the goodwill they've been doing, all the work that they've been doing, blah 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 blah, by not conceding. That's how everybody carried bomb, carried nuclear, carried ship, carried plane. Even Buhari, let me not just answer him, carried everything and packed it in front of Gambia and said, you have up until midnight to step down. In short, they had to swear in Barrow as president of another country. In another country, rather. So he got sworn in Senegal, and the UN put out a statement saying, yep, we recognize Barrow as the new president of Gambia. It is no longer Jammeh, blah, blah, blah. About 20 minutes before we came on air, it has now been confirmed that he has stepped down. Jammeh has stepped down. So what do you think this means for Africa? What do you think this means in terms of, are we actually getting the hang of democracy at last? Are we actually, what do you think is happening? Why did Jammeh behave the way he behaved? What do you think the future is for African politics? I'm going to start with Dolapo on this one.
Well, first of all, this is a man that just eventually he saw the writing on the wall. He definitely wanted to stay on because that's the only way he can protect himself. He can't guarantee that the next government is not going to probe him and put him in prison somewhere. So the only way was to stay on. Now, what does Gambian army have when you hear talk of like the Nigerian Navy is coming on and the Ghanaian army is sending special forces, and of course the Gambian army is going like now.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
So basically,
There's
the
probably
guy
about
also the
5 people, because actually the Gambian military said they weren't going to get involved. So if the Gambian military wasn't going to get involved, it would be an invasion, not a battle. You can't, if someone refuses to engage you, Gambian military said this is a political matter, not a military matter. And my men are too precious to me. I love all of my men, and this is this was his actual text. This is a stupid issue, and I'm not going to lose men on this issue. So Gambian, the head of military, the vice president, who, by the way, props to Gambia, their vice president is a woman called Isatu something something something. She stepped down. So he looked around and there was no one around him.
Yeah, basically I don't even blame the Gambian military because they will have an excuse that they can put up and I'll buy it any day, which is basically, you know what, we have a new president sworn in. That is who my commander-in-chief is. So I'm not listening to you, Jammeh, sorry. Unfortunately, I hope this is a trend in the right direction for that continent because we need to start understanding that, you know, being president is not a do or die affair. And it's not the people in the position, right? It's not the people in that position that are solely responsible for this kind of thinking. It's also the citizens of the country. You know, I always try to make that statement anytime I get into an argument that we tend to think that your president or your governor or whatever are there to rule us. They're not there to rule us. They're there to serve you. They're not rulers. You voted them in. They are your employee. They answer to you. Just like the other day when Ajimobi was shouting on school kids, and I'm going like, he's talking like a ruler. Yeah. You know, when you start understanding the dynamics that's involved in politics, where you say, you know what, please choose me And if you choose me, I will go there to represent your interests, to represent, not that I will rule you properly. Once we start changing our mentality, then we definitely, sky's the limit for us.
I agree. I completely agree. Rachel, have you got anything you want to add to this?
Nope.
Nope. Nope. And then, so have I got Bimbo? Are you there? Can you hear us?
I am here, yes.
Perfect.
Hello.
Was there anything you wanted to add to the story before we moved on?
No, I said it all now. It's not a family position. It's not, you're not a ruler. It's not it's not bloodline. So when you're president, you're elected, you come in. When you've lost, leave.
Come and be going.
Don't cause trouble. Come and be going. Exactly.
Basically.
And he was right. They serve us. They don't rule us. We're not subject.
Yes.
They answer us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I want to move on to the next thing. I want to move really, really quickly because there's another big one and I think this one's going to take time. So there's a guy on Facebook, we're going to handle this one really quickly, who put up a thing saying, I want to get married in 2017. Now looking for a wife. Applicants with the following requirements should apply. And then he goes on to list 14 things that his wife should have. A lot of these are ridiculous. Says should have some of them are just preference. Should have natural hair, minimum of a university degree, preferably in sciences. Master's degree is also an advantage. Then he says a tigress in bed and a great cook. No tattoos or unusual body piercings. Should have an hourglass body. Blah blah blah. Attach written recommendations from at least 2 former boyfriends. Fluent fluent in at least 2 international languages. Please, this bro's name is Ejike Betaman Igbokwe is the name of the person who wrote this. Well trained in home management and hospitality. Must have a great character. No previous record of cheating. I don't even know where they used to keep the record. I have no idea what this is. Then this one finally killed me and then I kukuma died. Demonstrated ability to make a man successful. So, on the one hand, so let me even just ask you, Dalapo. Oh, Dalapo, is this the first time you're hearing this thing?
I'm telling you, man. You know what? I'm at work and I'm trying to keep it together right now.
Oh, Dalapo, there's more.
When he said demonstrated ability.
Demonstrated
to do what?
To make a man successful.
So if she has already, if she has the ability to make one, why would she be looking for you again? That means she's married.
Educate from looking for you. A tigress in bed and a great cook. Able to sustain an intellectual conversation as well as having an awesome sense of humor. Knowledge of public relations that is awesome. I don't even know what that means.
What does that mean? First off, Dima is using awesome to describe something that is supposedly very important to him.
Yes.
If that's not an American word, and we know they don't speak English in America. I'm so sorry, the other Rachel, but I know you're in charge of hiring and firing, but you are Nigerian.
You're about to be out of a job, Bimbo.
They don't speak English in America now, so awesome. The person that is guy awesome. I don't trust
awesome.
him.
His name is Better Man.
I also see his PhD.
The question I want to ask is this. Okay, fair enough. His list is stupid and a little bit extreme. But do you think we should have, and Rachel, for the people who are already married, think about when you were, are we within our rights to say, now this kind of person I want marry? Sorry, was someone saying, Rachel, were you saying something? Oh no, I think we just lost Rachel, but she's gonna come straight back into the studio. Um, is he within his rights to say, now this kind of person I want married, this is the kind of wife I'm looking for, this is the kind of Dolapo, what do you think? Bimbo, what do you think? Do you think, are you just out there saying any guy will do, Joe, so far he's a bit fine, so far he's a bit, okay? Or do you actually have a checklist of I would like my ideal partner to have this, have this, have this, have this, have this. Let me start with Dollar. No, you know what? Let me start with a single Bimbo. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on this?
I do have a checklist per se. It is not a written down list, and sometimes it changes. It's changed as I've grown in some instance, but then it's also, I think it's sensible. Others might hear it and think it's not sensible, but I think it is. So yes, I don't subscribe to the anybody will do kind of thing, or so long as you kind of maybe sort of kind of reach there, then that's good. There can't be any maybes and sort of. There has to be some certainty that this kind of person, we can work together, we can cohabitate together, we can make a life together, we can progress together, because that's the whole point. If that's not going to be involved in it, then you might as well just be perambulating with every different person. Don't have sex with anybody, you have child with anybody, don't take commitments, don't do anything. So yes, I agree. I think a list, absolutely essential. The content of the list, however, is a different topic altogether.
Okay, then that then takes me to my next question, which is like this guy has a list and it is his list, and maybe there's a woman somewhere who meets this as ridiculous. So I mean, if you have a list, are you open to ridicule? Are you open to someone saying you go take before you marry, or you go this, or you go do that? Because I've noticed that if a man has a list, he may be seen as discern. Well, it depends. When he gets to a certain age, they will tell him, my friend, take one and marry and stop your nonsense, so Jerry. But when a woman at a certain age says, you know what? I don't want to settle. I don't want this. I don't want that. I don't want this. I don't want that. Then people start saying, you better take clay and mold him yourself. You haven't started. Even Jesus wasn't like this. Even Jesus wasn't like that. So should people be able to have a list and stick to their list? Dolapo, what do you think?
Oh, well, I mean, yes, you can have a. I guess when you use that word list, it makes it sound too resume building like or something. I don't like that.
Let me tell you what
Now,
he
when you
said at
say
the
res,
end. Wait a minute. At the bottom, he said all applicants are advised to send their applications by the 4th of January 2017. Attach health and birth certificates. Only selected candidates will be contacted.
okay, I would just like to think that this guy was just trying to crack a joke or something. He can definitely not be serious with all those things he's looking for. First of all, what he's doing is, and the way I see relationship is this. Okay, I'm trying to find an analogy that will probably be good. It's kind of like saying that I want to eat butter bread. So I know the ingredients that I want, right? And I buy the ingredients, but I did the baking myself, and voila, I got my bread. Now that's exactly the analogy to having a preference in a partner. You know what you like in a partner. You look for those things in a partner, but then together you will bake a future that you're not privy to at this moment, but you will make a future. What he's looking for is he's looking for the final product. And my fear is he himself might not even qualify for such a lady.
My dear, there's no way. The kind of lady that has all the things is not on Facebook looking for husband. So that being said, and then that takes me to my next question, which is, at what stage is a partnership is a request bigotry? So if, for example, I say, you know what, I don't like I don't like Asian men. if you're Indian, if you're Bangladeshi, if you're Korean, if you're Chinese, if you just don't talk to me, don't holler at me, don't talk. That is not my spec. That's not what I'm looking for. Are you allowed to have that thought? Like, I am not attracted to this. So if you don't have this, don't approach me. Or is that wrong?
Now, if you say, and just like me, I'll tell you this. I'm definitely in most cases not attracted to white women. Okay. Now, it does not necessarily mean I would say that out loud and I tell all those that fall under that same category that don't you even open your mouth and look and talk to me. Don't even look my way. Don't blink once because, nah. Because you know what? Just because that is not what you find attractive does not mean that you cannot find that one exception in there that will actually blow your mind.
So what you're saying is, you would not close the door even though you are not attracted to white. Okay, let's pick something.
Exactly.
No, because white is a whole range of. Let's pick, and I'm seriously, I don't mean any offense here, but let's pick something like. And by the way, let me just cut myself short. I noticed we've been joined in the studio by Nkiru. Hi, Nkiru.
Hi everyone, my apologies for turning up late.
Welcome.
Good evening.
She just came back from the inauguration, that's why.
Yes, she was in DC.
I was watching it live.
She was in DC. So, let me say, Nkiru, good evening. Let's say someone like Nkiru's height. So, Nkiru, what are you, 5'10", 5, something like that?
5'11".
5'11". So, someone like Nkiru's
Without
height,
heels.
say she doesn't like short men. I don't do short men. I don't do them. At the very least, be the same height as me, but do not be shorter than me. And let's say, Nkiru, would you date a multimillionaire who was 5'2"?
No. I wouldn't.
You see, I think you're going about it the wrong way.
Why?
You're going about it the wrong way.
Babe, okay, he's short, right? I can't explain that thing. Like, Rachel, you're looking for my trouble this evening because I told you that I've mellowed on it now. Now you're bringing it up now with multimillionaire joint put. If you didn't put the multimillionaire and just say the short guy now, I would answer you straight. You have ruined it with the multimillionaire.
Unless that today I just sabi you. That's why I put the
ruined it with the multimillionaire. If there was a surgery he could do to elongate his kneecaps, we would find it. But to be honest, that's why you laugh. But to be honest, I would. Hey, multi-millionaire, sha.
She didn't think come.
Multi-millionaire, sha. No, I have to play, man. I have to reconsider. Especially if I haven't been a millionaire yet. Then I meet a multi-millionaire.
Several times over millionaire.
They're stupid and they're stupid now. I won't be stupid.
Well, I mean, I believe with Nkiru's position is she says that is a no for her. Now, if such a guy that is 5'2" or 5'4", or 5'6", let me just. I mean, okay, what would be the limit?
A bit more.
Okay, 5'8". Okay, 5'8" comes around. Maybe she might not necessarily talk to him, but if they happen to be in a situation where they interact, she might not suddenly be able to look beyond that height and go, "Whoa, this guy is funny. This guy is everything." So that's what I'm saying. That you know,
intellectually, he keeps my attention going. You know, we can have a proper conversation. He can speak good English. You know.
Listen, my friend Mechianu does speak good English. He's the one that you are looking at.
Can you hear her now? So all those other qualities now suddenly makes this guy stand out to be about 6'4".
He's not 6'4". If he's standing on his money, he might be 6'4". But if he's standing if he's standing on his wallet, he might be 6'4". But I think I just think people should be allowed to say, "Look, this isn't my taste." Sorry, Rachel, what were you saying?
That is all the same, standing on the wallet.
If he's standing on his wallet, exactly. So I just think, that guy was funny. I think he was maybe trying to be funny. I went to his Facebook. He certainly wasn't trying to stop he kept on egging people on, like, yes, that's what I'm saying, and that's what I'm saying. If you don't like, go and die.
Yeah.
So he didn't stop the joke, if it were. But I'm just like, but why can't he say what let him say two international languages, acquire, no problem. Anybody that can speak Hindi and also speak small Russian, whatever it takes. So yeah, I think people should be allowed
So
to.
what qualifies as an international language?
A
Why is
language that's not
Russia not
Nigerian.
international?
A language that's not Nigerian. The man that's wrote it in, his name is
Is it
Ejike Igbokwe. That's his name. So any national, Abi, not be said that they call national, international, anything that's outside the nation,
Outside of Nigeria.
In it though.
No.
So even Swahili, even Togo, what do they speak in Cameroon? Even all that one is still international. Let's move. I've been waiting for you, Nkiruka. Talk to us really quickly.
Chuks.
Yes, Chuks.
Oh. Well, the Mbise people, because he's from Mbise or something, he's Imo State boy. Okay. So I know that they were saying that he was having issues with his wife, but he was building a house in Niger. Now, basically, he was building his house in Niger. He tried to go before that, there was a video. I don't know, I sent the video to you guys. Did you see that?
Yes.
There was a video, but obviously there was a video with him and the wife quarreling. She was kicking him out, 1-2-1-2. All I know is that she picked up the phone, called the police. Police arrived at the house. I think he must have showed his arm. Police now, they don't have to put their hand in their sideways to pull gun or taser.
Yes, yeah.
But I think he must have shown them his arm, his hands, that he wasn't carrying a piece. But he's meant to be supposedly supposed to be a U.S. veteran, But she wanted him out of the house, and she was telling him to leave, told her sister to tell him to leave. We saw the children there. Next thing, the children were crying. The man said he has to leave because if not, the mom said the police would take him away. So he was advising his children when they go to school to tell the school that the mother wanted him out of the house and they want him back in the house. Next thing, he was in Nigeria. I think he went to Nigeria for Christmas. Over the Christmas period, went to Nigeria. They said he was a friend of mine was in the east at the time as well. And she's from Imo State as well. She said I think she was hearing that there was one guy. She didn't go to the club that night, but she said she heard one guy was out in the clubs, a guy from US spraying dollars. Then someone now sent a message and said, it was Rachel, American Rachel said he was spraying dollars in the club. A friend of mine actually said that she was meant to go to that club that night, but she didn't end up going. But they heard how one guy came from Yankee and was spraying dollars in the club. I mean, that's attention calling already. We're talking about not calling attention to yourself when you go to Nigeria. He called attention
Where was
himself.
this club? Was it in Lagos or was it back home?
No,
was
in the east. In the east.
He went to the east.
Yes.
Right, okay.
In the east. Because that's where they built a house for him now. Yes. Next thing, they said on the 12th of January he was kidnapped. They didn't just kidnap him, they killed him. Why? I don't even understand the mentality for the killing. I don't understand why they killed him. Family have now put out a 15 million naira ransom. Or not ransom, 15 million naira. Yeah, ransom now. I mean, what they call it, reward to find the people that killed the guy.
But because he was killed because, he's a veteran and he's a law enforcement officer here. So
yes.
You know what comes along with that. He fought that and he shot one of the kidnappers.
Oh, he actually shot one of the kidnappers?
Did he?
That's the story.
I didn't even hear that bit. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank God. At least, he tried.
No, actually,
it's so sad though.
Very foolish. He should have been.
So I'm wondering, why is this story more complicated than that? Because people keep bringing in the wife's.
Released those videos, and the timeline is not exactly accurate.
It's not accurate, exactly.
It's not accurate. 5 years ago, they had reconciled. So she released these videos and muddied the water. So everybody's saying the woman killed the man. That's what
I see.
Could it have been that maybe you had his family or his friends probably saying maybe she arranged his murder?
Yes.
And so she's now saying, you know what, look at what has happened to us before in the past. Why will I do it? Maybe she's just trying to,
She's trying to cover
herself. Like you said, that was really stupid of him to go out there, especially in this Buhari economy today.
Where there's no money.
To be doing that, I joke with my friends back home, and when I talk to them, I say, you know what? Even when I'm calling, I don't even trust you. That you self can arrange my kidnapping any day.
Oh yes. Oh, yes. Let me tell you, the house that my father lives in right now. So this is what happened. There's a man who's been living here for years, and he was sending money home to his brother. Same father, same mother, blood brother. Not all this, we come from the same village kind of brother. Sending money home to his brother, and the brother was supposedly building him a house. And the brother was indeed building a house. He was sending all the progress reports to the older brother back in the UK. Okay, oh, this is foundation. Okay, so he saw the house, not be say go come. He saw the and according to, so he had an architect build, right, do the plan, and he was seeing that the house was being built exactly how it was drawn. Everything was
Plan.
cool.
Yeah.
So over some time, he was like, okay, he wants to come to Nigeria. He's been trying to come with the whole family and everything because he has a wife and kids and all of that. The money just wasn't leveling up because he was building this palatial thing back home. So he didn't really
As
have
always.
enough money to like book a flight for wife and three children and himself and everything. So he now said, oh, if I keep saying I'm waiting for Pepper to rest, waiting for Pepper to rest, I will never go to this Nigeria. Let me go on my own. Then small time, when there's enough money, when the house is completely built, I'll come with the whole
Then we
family
can
and
all
all of
go.
that.
Yeah, of
Cool.
course.
So as he let his brother know that he was gonna come and this, so I arranged car for me at airport. So make sure you are there. Make sure you are there to pick me up and blah 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 blah. Then the brother now said, "Ha, funny enough, before you even called me, I was even gonna call you that if you know what our eyes saw, that we've been battling with Omonile for some time. So because they were putting an extra layer on the house, you know, these Omonile, they always come back to say, as you're building an extra level now, going into the upstairs, then you have to drop some more money. So that
Extra
he
money.
had followed them to do a giddy to say, one more money, I die fighting. What of all the money that we gave you and everything? That they had come in the night, that they had seriously wounded the security that was there, and they had destroyed a whole bunch of things. So, brother, you need to send more money for me to repair all those things, because really, you can move into the house now. Not be say go come, but not in the way that they broke block, they broke a whole bunch of things, blah 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 blah. So the guy now sent someone. He now said, well, he had basically been saving money for the whole family to travel. So since it's only him that's coming anyway, he definitely has some extra money lying around. So he sent that extra money to his younger brother to make the changes and do the repairs that the Omonile supposedly did. He got to the airport. His brother was nowhere to be found. This is the first time he was coming home in years. He didn't have SIM, he didn't have phone number, he didn't have anything, he should have found taxi, blah 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 blah. The only address he knew was his mother's house. So he changed some money into naira right at the airport and started driving almost to the village. Basically got there, and his mom was like, Tani Mori, this. She wasn't expecting to see him, this that. Then now said that he was supposed to pick me at the airport. I told him it was today. Now this that. Now said mommy, where is his house? Let's go to blah 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 blah. She now said, you don't need to do all that. Let me phone him and tell him you are here. So called him. He picked up the phone. As soon as the mom said, Egbon, I want to be by your older brother is here, he hung up.
Hey.
Long story short, out of all this story, what we've gotten to the bottom of all of this now, and my guy flew back immediately to the UK. Otherwise, God knows if his predicament would have been the same as Chuks. The younger brother was indeed building a house. Guess what? On his own land. So all the pictures that he was sending to his older brother was of the older brother's plans, the older brother's architecture, the older brother's house that the older brother dreamed, and used the older brother's money to build it on his plot of land. So the older brother's plot of land had been lying empty all the while. So when the older brother called to say he was coming back, all that Omonile thing, because there's no house on the land anyway, so no Omonile problem anywhere, was he now put up, he literally built a house in under a week. There is no straight wall in that house. There is no wall that is standing straight. There is no arch that is arching the way an arch should arch. The foundation is so the older brother just ran. He ran back to the UK. At this thing that I'm telling you, the mother stripped naked and was swearing for her son, the younger brother. So the older brother now sold. So that's how my dad got it. My dad was like, listen, I'm literally going to have to demolish this house and rebuild. This is not a house. There was literally termites moving into the wood because he used wood that hadn't even been treated. You could still smell the wood, like they had just cut it from the ply mill or whatever it's called or whatever. The house was leaning. And the younger brother was nowhere to be found. And when he would finally surface, Odasi rough and said, why would he take so much time, so much effort to build his older brother's house? No, that was not the plan. That the plan was that the older brother was helping him. That's what he understood the plan to be. Yes. That was never the plan. No, the older brother's land was, he doesn't know anything about that he just said, why would my brother not have anything on ground? Why would my brother that has been in the abroad for so long? No, so I just said, let me help him, let me put up a building that if he comes, so let him have somewhere that he will stay, but not that the house was his house. Not that the house was his house. So I can imagine that if someone that is blood, I mean, this is the house my father lives in now. The guy sold the house for next to nothing. They sold the land for next to nothing because my dad was like, I'm going to have to demolish it. So I can imagine people having bad belly for this guy coming into town, spraying dollars, spraying cash, doing anyhow. I can imagine people like, maybe it was a deal gone wrong. Maybe they asked him for money. Maybe he said, lie, I died. Like, you're now saying that he had already shot one of them. So
and chances are 99.7%, if one family member knows what went down. 99.7%.
Oh yes.
Igbo people, 99.7% family member knows. This is why when you're going home, like I do, you know what they call stealth mode? We watch movies. Stealth mode. I enter Niger. When people know I'm in Niger, is when I've just checked in at Moritala to get on the plane to come back. My family member, my uncle, I did it one time. My mom was upset. My uncle was upset. I went to Niger. I was in Niger for like 4-5 days. No one knew I came. It was on the day I was leaving. I got a phone call. My uncle said to me, where are you now, uncle? I said, oh, uncle. He goes, you're in town? When are we seeing you? I said, seeing who? He said, you now? I said, uncle, no. I said, uncle, I just checked in. Uncle, I've just checked in. I'm just going through security now. I'm going back. He said, if you hear the abuse, I don't send anybody.
It's better for me to be insulted than for me to be alive.
I am not ready to meet my maker because my maker is not ready to meet me. Someone goes go and get killed. No handmade business in my own. Till God calls me, nobody can take me unless I make mistakes.
You just have to play James Bond when you're back home. It's common sense,
yes,
Even I sit around it. Even my mom, I'm like, okay, where are you going now? I'm going back to Lagos now with the driver. And then my mom will chat with the driver like, so where are you going to take? The driver say, we'll take this in. I'll just be looking at them. The moment I enter Ghana, the guy starts driving. He's going this way. I say, you know what? Don't take that express. Let's go through Ojaba. Because I don't know what you have arranged for me on the road.
Yes.
And that's the way. Even family members call me and say, uncle, you're around, I'll come and visit you. I'll come on Friday. I say, okay, that would be good. If I just make it around the evening, because I should be back.
And by then you're going.
Me that I know that I'm flying out on Friday. Come on.
But the thing is, it's not just us that live abroad. It's not the abroad people only. When my popsy was alive, my popsy had a driver. My dad initially my dad didn't have any qualms sitting at the back. You know how you're a big boy now? If you're Oga, you sit on the right hand side of the driver, on the left hand side of the driver, sitting on the right. At one point, my father became skeptical about his drivers because he even told one day, I know you want to kill me, but you know what, it won't work. My father now sits on the same side as the driver, at the back. So whatever is happening in that car both of you must go. He said both of us will go, but one person cannot go in this car because I know it's my side that you will put in the way of danger.
Yes.
So my father used to sit at the back, so he can't trust nobody going home. I want to go.
But then
like
again,
you,
like
Rachel.
you were saying something about when they come and they're spending money, you also have to be aware of the fact that I see people get off the plane in a Nigeria that is 35 degrees, 38 degrees. They're wearing leather jacket. They are wearing medallion around their neck. They're doing hippopuree right from the airport. The guy, I'm telling you.
You know what? Let me just throw one piece of advice in there for those of us that live outside the borders of Nigeria. When you're traveling, if you have anybody visiting you from Niger, if you don't have any naira on you, please beg them to bring some naira for you.
That's exactly what I do.
That's
exactly what I do.
Because every time you travel, you don't want to dip your hand in your pocket in the airport and bring out dollars or pounds.
5,000 naira or something, and I don't have 1,000 naira.
I will always carry 10 to 20,000 with me.
Yeah.
Because
I have enough money for my trolley.
I
have enough money for my to top up my phone. As I'm getting off the plane, I'm going into Mama Yemi Motideo. I've arrived. Don't let anybody tell you they carried my load. Don't let anybody tell you I will see you in the next hour. Nobody picks me from the airport. If it is not my father, it will be my sister. I don't do no taxis. I don't do. And when I come, I sit in a taxi. If the taxi has air conditioning, if it doesn't, the British accent disappears. The second I
That was going to be my thing. As
I step out of the plane, I become a Yoruba babe. In fact, I don't even become Igbo. I become Yoruba. I join Lagos. I came with Lagos together from London. I don't care.
I will tell them that now Brits, I go beat them. Now they stay. Now Nigeria.
You have to learn. Even for me, I do this. I pack my leather slippers. It's always in my carry-on. As soon as that plane is already approaching Nigeria, I'm already taking everything out and putting leather
I am
slippers.
Nigerian.
So I'm blending in completely.
Yeah, I'm Nigerian straight away. So let's move on because we've already shot past the hour, and then we're just going to finish on this, the blowjob hero. Has anybody had Dolapo? Have you heard the story? Let me give Dolapo this gist because
I read the story briefly. I think somebody the family was threatened. They were going to kill her and her family, and she offered that as a way to save her family. I'm like,
and he too collected.
Please let them kill me. I am not.
You know what? This was actually what I wanted to talk about more than what she did. I'm trying to talk about, will that marriage survive? Because to me, I'm like, if I was a guy, I'd be looking at her like, you couldn't say, hey, look over there, look, see something I want to. You went to suck it, auntie, that is to say.
But he's not just doing that now. First of all, if that's what the people are saying, okay, we'll kill everybody unless you do this for us. So she doesn't have an option.
No, she didn't. No. If you were raped at gunpoint,
that was what they said.
If you were raped at gunpoint, that's a completely different.
I was her husband and her children.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so she offered that.
Yeah, they didn't ask her. They didn't say exactly.
He was her boyfriend, Daddy. That guy was her boyfriend.
Meanwhile, what will the husband say at the end of everything? He said, well, she never sucked me off like that before. I've not seen any of those kind of moves. But we will talk about that later. But we will. What if
I'm not sure if I can live with that. I'm sorry.
He said she saved us. In fact, you know what will happen? If the roles were reversed and the woman did it and I'm the man and the woman did it, I'll be like, my God, thank you, my darling, you saved us, she saved us. Absolutely wonderful. And now come and be carrying your bag.
Yes, I'll be like, come and be going. Come and be going. Because that means the next time a thief comes, definitely Wabasu. The next time another one comes.
I mean, they are not
As I
forcing it
talk
on
to
you.
them
You are
of
just
everywhere.
offering.
If we go to the bank and they say they don't give us a mortgage money, you suck them off. If we say I'm sorry, you can't afford this car, suck them off. Don't you?
It's like he was in her body. It's like he was in her body. It's like, oh, I
Don't you even
mommy.
think? Don't you even think criminals are already passing notes saying that these people there, she
Number
offers a good incentive?
27. Number 27. Fox bro clothes. Go there. She's very on point. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We couldn't possibly cover everything. There was a couple of racist tweets been going around. There was an idiot that said, "Oh, as Michelle Obama, all your mates are hugging male children. You are hugging puppy there. Blah 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 blah." All sorts of shenanigans went
that
on.
One really slap.
That one is that guy is the same league as the one that has a resume. That's looking for resume for wife.
Exactly. They both have home trouble. It's serious home trouble. So thank you so much. We have completely overshot. I'm so grateful. We have to say goodnight. So everyone say goodnight one after the other. Who have we got on? Inkiru, say goodnight to everyone.
Good night, everyone. Have a lovely weekend. Stay blessed and be happy.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bimbo, say goodnight to everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. Have a lovely weekend.
And this is
Good night,
Rachel saying good night and see you again next week. Have a fantastic weekend. Stay blessed. Take care of yourselves and of each other. Bye.
Bye. Bye, Dolapo. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.